I'm going to show you, this is the acanthus urn planter. I got this about, I think 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. Anyway, I wanted to make it more elevated, and so I used this, this is a Kinsman garden hanging basket. It's huge, it's pretty large, it's pretty big. It's like 2 feet, I think, wide, maybe even wider. Anyway, it's huge, but I can put a lot in this one. But I also don't want to, I want to cover up a little bit of the, usually I put more moss, and I started to finish the moss on this side over here, so don't pay attention to this part. I planted this up with the sunglass mix from Proven Winners. So these Supertunias and Superbells actually came in the kind of like a ready container, you know, one of those that they're planted with like 2 of each, and you can just put them into a pot. But because I have such a huge planter, and also I want them to have some space to grow, because they will grow and expand and take up a lot of room, and they'll spill over. I decided to dismantle each one of them from that pot very, very carefully. You have the Supertunia lovey-dovey. This is Superbells yellow. This is Supertunia Mini Vista hot pink. Superbells yellow, and a lovey-dovey right here. It's only been 2 days since I did this pot, and so I'm just gonna cross my fingers and hope that it'll all recover and be well and grow and prosper for the spring, summer, and autumn, and create a beautiful ensemble and display for this growing season. I am absolutely on the hunt right now to find out what daffodil variety this is. I want to find a name, because I want a lot more for my 2023 garden. This is such a beautiful daffodil. It was mislabeled as the color run daffodil, and I know for sure it's not. I kept looking at pictures and videos online, and it's definitely not that. But it's so beautiful because it starts off, the petals start off as a pure yellow, and then starts fading to this buttery yellow with the watercolor stroke and fading. I mean, it's just so beautiful. These I know for sure are the daffodils Sempre Avanti. And my pink pride daffodils are still looking wonderful and beautiful here. This double variety, this is called Westward. So beautiful, frilly, elegant, fancy, may I say, as well. I mean, this is just absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go in here and show you. These are my Chinese ground orchids. Blatilla striata, I think, is the scientific name. They're so dainty and beautiful. They come back year after year, and they multiply like crazy. They spread with these underground root system that just pushes out to the inner perimeter of the pot, and so I have to separate, split in half every single year. This is my Sceptred Isle David Austin English rose that I planted bare root about a month and a half ago. I have in this pot, I mean, I used to have Delta daffodils in this galvanized planter, or galvanized tub, but now I have tulips popping up. This is so exciting to see this. My Yellowstone hyacinths, they're finished, and so I'm gonna come in later and just shear off right. Oh, I can just pull. Whoop, I don't want to do that. Okay, I'll be careful. You gotta do is you got to take off all of these spent blooms, because you want them to produce, you want them to send energy into the plant, the bulb, but not to produce seed, because I want them again for next year. I love this plant. This is the Superbena sparkling amethyst. I think this is the 3rd year for this plant. So beautiful. My mums are starting to come back as well. This is the Desdemona David Austin English rose, and I've just been going through and plucking off aphids. I'm going to be putting on a layer of Rose RX in the next couple of days. I don't want to do it quite yet, and I don't know, I just feel like I want to spray less. I want to, because there is an impact when you spray your roses. I mean, it's, of course you're going to be protecting your roses, but I'm also keen on being a little more careful on the cautious side about affecting beneficial insects. I don't know, I'm just Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I haven't sprayed any Rose RX yet this year so far, and look, the buds are popping up, and I'm eager to see the beautiful blooms. But I don't know. Maybe I'll do less this year, and the plucking of the aphids, it seems to work quite well actually. Yeah. Now on to my tulips. These are the Happy Generation tulips. I absolutely love the variegation. And look at these blooms. This is just still forming. And of course, unfortunately, I have some, this is a miniature version, unfortunately. But you know what? I'm so happy to see them blooming. Even these Akebono tulips, this side of the bed actually gets less sun than that part right there. And so I guess that it perhaps the cooler part of the bed, the tulips are taller this year. I don't know, but you know what? I'm just so happy to see them in bloom. Even if their blooms are not as large as last year's blooms, it's still wondrous and beautiful to have their blooms and their presence. Also, I think this Temple of Beauty tulip, this one seems to be more normal in terms of the size. So I guess I'm not that you know, I think perhaps I should be counting the blessings of being able to have these beautiful flowers in bloom despite their, you know, not reaching their 100% height potential. But still so beautiful to have them. I mean, look at this. This display is just, it's beautiful. You know, it's so beautiful. Okay, so I thought these were supposed to be the Ice Follies daffodils, but I think these are White Lion. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all that I got the White Lion instead of the Ice Follies. So beautiful, these daffodils. Up, and here's more of the Sempre Avanti daffodils as well. And this was supposed to be another pot of Ice Follies. And they're not Ice Follies. They are the White Lion. So I think this affected at least their entire stock that came in this direction. That the Ice Follies were actually White Lion daffodils. I'm not complaining. They're so beautiful. What were these again? Oh yeah, these are the Daydream tulips. They were actually supposed to be the Blushing Lady single late tulips, which are on the same line as the Temple of Beauty tulips. But you know what? I'm just so happy to have them. They're so beautiful. Also, this mixture between the Temple of Beauty and the Daydream tulips. And also on this side is this double mix. This one is so unusual. It's kind of like split in half. This is the bolder orange and the more yellowy orange on this side. It's kind of like a mutation, I think. So beautiful nonetheless. Oh, also this is my Olivia Rose Austin, David Austin English Rose. This is the second year of this rose plant. And here in the center back, this is the Bathsheba David Austin English Rose that is growing up this trellis. Back here for the second year, this is the Rockin' the Blues Salvia from Proven Winners. And I planted a foxglove right here that I'm hoping that is a flower stalk. Also, this is the Alaska Shasta Daisy. I got these in a 6-pack. This is the Gara. And I repeated or mirrored the same you know, Agara, Shasta Daisy, Foxglove, and Salvia on this side as well. One of you asked about my the arrangement in my French lattice urns. At least two of them, the ones in this bed, they came in the 6-pack, and I just put 5 of them in the center. This is the pigeon ornamental cabbage, and I also just circled it with the cabbage, the ornamental cabbage, and also sweet alyssums. This is the Vermilion Clofia, and I believe this plant is second or third year in my garden. And what happened was it was growing back so beautifully and so fresh, and then we had a freezing night or two. And so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to come back and shear it back by half in probably another week or two. Back here, cannas and more cannas. And the alliums are also pushing up as well. Okay, so back here is a summerific hibiscus. I don't know the exact variety. I'll put it up on the screen. And popping up right here, this is a gold stem rudbeckia, black-eyed Susan, I believe. And this is, for the second year, this is the return of the foxglove called Pink Panther. This bed, you know what, I'm not 100% sure if this bed will be the same bed next week, because I just threw a bunch of tulips. I had this purple mix and also some of that double mix as well, the red and orange mix. So I think this might be treated in the next few days as a cut flower tulip garden. I planted some sweet alyssums at the front here, but this area actually gets baked from the spring through summer through fall. And so I need to figure out this part of the garden if I'm going to be turning it into some kind of super heat tolerant bed. I'm right now just thinking very hard and deep about this bed, because I don't know exactly yet what I'm gonna be doing, because this bed, of course, this bed and this section right here, just this whole area right here, it just gets baked. And also the surface heat that comes and radiates from this gravel pathway and the concrete border, the rocks here. I mean, just everything here creates for like a scorching environment for the plants here. I mean, in the summer it gets 105 degrees. You can just imagine getting fried from top and bottom and all around. And so I need to really think about this part of the garden. 2 years ago, when I planted this garden up for the main growing season, I had a mulch pathway, not this gravel pathway. And last year, when I planted up this area here with Supertunias, they looked beautiful in April and May. They were flourishing, but as soon as June hit, the Supertunias all fried. I mean, they were just baked. In this bed I have lining here, these are the lemon coral sedums from Proven Winners, and they're about to bloom. Actually, they'll have these beautiful bright yellow blooms, and they're so low maintenance and so reliable. They're absolutely perfect to line the edge of this this walkway. They can take the heat. I'm thinking I might actually run a border across here with lemon coral sedums. I think that'll be really beautiful. Also, Nephophias. These are a type of red hot poker that are not the giant type. They're a smaller type. I think the variety or line is called Poco, I think is the variety line. And I'm so excited to see them come back for year 2. And here are more daffodils. This one is a fresh bloom. I think this might be either, again, a pink pride or pink charm. I don't know. It's so wonderful to see that this bed has more daffodils coming up. At the front of this bed, these are the White Knight Sweet Alyssums from Proven Winners. And this is their second year in my garden. And Of course, it's recommended that you replace sweet alyssums every year because they're annuals or they become leggy. But I just shear them back like severely. I think I probably leave like an inch, an inch on the ground. I'm thinking about adding other sweet alyssums from the Proven Winners line. I'm thinking about the Moonlight Night. I think it's a very beautiful variety. The yellow, the pale yellow variety. I think that'd be so beautiful to put in his garden. As I'm looking at this bed, I'm thinking about taking out this lemon coral sedum and placing another sweet alyssum here. For some reason, it looks a little bit just, I don't know, it doesn't look so together. I think it would be better to have another sweet alyssum right here. So in this bed are, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 different varieties of bearded irises, or also known as German irises. This bed, I just think this is the year that after the irises have bloomed and finished, I am going to be taking out the one here, this corner, the one this corner right here, and I think, I'm not sure yet. I think what I would like to do is I would like to, as you can see, they're just encroaching on the boxwoods that are growing at the corners, and I mean they seem to be happy together, but it's just maybe perhaps I really should have thought about the size of bearded irises. I mean, they're not small plants, and they can really form huge clumps and just take over and grow onto each other like crazy. Anyway, I'm going to be enjoying the beautiful blooms in a month or two, I believe, from this garden, from this part of the garden, with these beautiful bearded irises. But I believe this year is a year that I'm going to go in and I'm going to take some out, separate, because I need some room for my boxwoods. I mean, these are just such beautiful boxwoods that I planted 2 years ago. This is the Charles Darwin David Austin English Rose, bare root, freshly planted this late winter, and I'm so happy to see growth. I think I'm going to butcher the name of the children's author by which this rose was named after, and so I'm just going to put the name of this rose on the screen. But this is the 3rd year that this rose has been in my garden. This rose has been a container planted rose this whole time, and I'm just so delighted to see all these buds. This one is the, okay, I'm not gonna say the name. I'm just gonna put it on the screen. There you can see the name. Also another freshly planted bare root David Austin English Rose that is growing in my garden. I'm so happy to have this beautiful, beautiful rose. You can look her up on Google to see the beautiful flowers, but I'm just so happy to have this one. Down here are divisions of my Chinese ground orchids. And I think this division, wait, you know, this one actually did make it. Osteospermum Bright Lights Double Moon Glow from Proven Winners. This is the 2nd year of this plant. This is a pink ivy geranium, pelargonium. And you know, I recently, just this last year, started really liking pelargoniums because I see them everywhere here because they grow so well. They're usually annuals in other zones, but here in zone 9, they come back year after year, and people have them growing in everywhere. All these gardens here, they have them. So but some, they're beautiful, they're reliable, they're beautiful, and some just, so yeah, sometimes your mind changes, right? In this container here, there are 2 rockin' blue suede shoes, salvias from Proven Winners. These are actually from last year. I pruned them back severely. I think it was like 2 inches from the from the ground, or from the base of the plant, 2 inches up from the base of the plant. And look at them, they're just coming back. And so this year I'm just really trying to restrain myself from buying so many plants already. I've been keeping myself away from the shopping centers, the garden centers, because of this. I mean, I have returning plants that are looking fresh and healthy, and I need to make sure I have enough room in my garden to plant everything. I call this my mini nursery. These are the hollyhocks that I planted up a few weeks ago. The helenium, hollyhock. This is a returning heliopsis. This is a heliopsis I'm hoping will return. I have no idea what happened to this one, but it's not sprouting new growth like this one right here. I also have the vertical pennisetum returning for year 2 right here. 2 of them right here as well. These are a double Shasta daisy I've had now. This is, I think, the 3rd season. And this is also the 3rd season for these Nemesias romance pink. You know, I love this plant so much. I need to find more of these this year. When I go to the garden center this year, I'm keeping my eyes open just because I want more of these. And in its 3rd year, as you can see, quite woody and a decreased performance, of course. I mean, these bloom all year long. Can you imagine blooming for now the 3rd year and giving such a phenomenal show for 2 years in a row now in its 3rd year? So I'm very thankful for this plant, and I want more. And so these, I believe, I'm gonna plant them and enjoy them for the 3rd year. It could be the last year in my garden, because as you can see, the performance is not as strong as past years. These are my 2 dahlias, flash bulb purple white, that I purchased I think a month ago. And I did take them in during those nights that dipped below freezing, and I brought them back out now, but I don't know. I hope these are okay. We'll see what happens. They need the sun, they need the heat, and yeah. This is a Verbena bonariensis that also got zapped by the cold, and I'm happy to see new growth from this one. These grow quite tall. This is the species bonariensis. This is the one that grows like 5 feet tall, and so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, but these hollyhocks are also very tall growing ones as well. And yeah, my Nofophia is doing quite well. These are the ones I planted bare root. This Nofophia, one of the bare roots, this one I think is a goner in this like tall pot. The 2 of these actually. I have these immensely beautiful cannas that grow 6 feet, 7 feet tall, just incredible. And I think next week I will go in and split this in 2, divide it up, maybe even in 3, because these are very robust cannas. Yeah, this is a return of the Supertunia Vista Silverberry. This is the 2nd year, you know, maybe even a 3rd year for this silverberry, I think, in this pot, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, silverberry, it's just wonderful to see this one return. And oh, this is another white night sweet alyssum here in this barrel planter beneath the arborvitae. I'm back at where we started, and here's another tall pot with the cannas. I say cannas because there are so many growths. This is not one plant, because this is one plant but also not one plant at the same time. Silverberry, Supertunia, so beautiful. All right, everybody, happy spring, happy gardening, happy growing, and thank you for walking with me through my garden today.